Welcome to Beducation. I'm Jeff Shire, America's Beducator, and this is the Leggett & Platt Falcon electric adjustable bed. I'll go over a few of the features of this item and also show you how to put it together and get it ready for use in your home. A few things to note right away. When you bring it into the house, the H on the top of the box stands for the head of the power foundation. So you want to make sure that it's in the proper orientation. Sometimes in a master bedroom, it's difficult to move the product around once you have it assembled and flipped upright. The other thing to notice is the box itself. You want to make sure that it's not upside down. The proper way is the way that this one is oriented. When you look at the handle with care on the side of the power foundation box right there, it's upright. You can read it. Also, the top layer lifts off easily. This is the way that you want it when you get ready to set things up at home. Now let's take a look at what's on the inside. Once you take the lid off the power foundation box, you will find that the head is indeed oriented in the proper area here. And you'll see that there's a few extra things. Number one, your quick setup guide. Take note of that. You'll also have your mattress retaining clip. This is zip tied on the inside. I've already cut that out. And then you'll have a box here with all of your other accessories. So let's take a look at what's on the inside of this box. And as I mentioned, here's that quick setup guide. And here's your mattress retaining bracket, and then the box which has the rest of your accessories. This model does come with the option of an emergency power down backup unit. You'd put a few batteries in here and connect that to the unit just in case you did lose power. It's going to give you enough juice with two 9-volt batteries to bring the power foundation to the flat position. Also, of course, you need a remote control to operate it. Here's a remote control. Your owner's manual, hold on to that, has a lot of good information, tells you how to pair the item, the accessories that are available, and you can also register your warranty. And then we have the legs. I've already opened the box here. 4 legs for the unit. All of the legs on this unit are the same height, and the unique thing about this with the Falcon, these are adjustable. So you can press in, set them up at different heights. Pretty neat feature. This is something newer with some of the Leggett & Platt power foundations right here. So let's put these on the power foundation base and take a look at what else is on the underside here. So the legs will just thread into the 4 corners of the power foundation. You can see it already has the threaded rod inserted to the top of the leg right here. And you may adjust it from 6 to 10 inches in overall height. I'm going to put this right in the center at the 8-inch setting. Right here in the upper corner of the frame at the head section, there's already a nut inserted into the frame network. And just put that in on the inside. Tighten this by hand. You don't need any special tools to do this. And you don't want to over tighten the product, but you also want to make sure that it's not loose. So just give it a good twist and you're good to go. And I'll do this for the other 3 legs on the rest of the base. Now that all 4 legs have been secured to the corners of the power foundation, it's a good time to just take inventory of everything underneath to make sure that nothing was damaged during transit of the power foundation base, and also to learn a little bit about what's on the underside. You can see they're actually pretty simple units right here, right? So we have the lift mechanism right here. Here's the motor, and there's the arm where it attaches to this bar, and this bar rotates this wheeled arm and this wheeled arm to adjust the head section up and down. The wheels run against those steel plates. And then we have the second motor right here, and this motor attaches to this bar right here. This bar again is rotated on these wheeled arms here and here, and that adjusts the foot section of the power foundation base. Now your power unit right here, this attaches to this motor right here. And one thing that we did talk about was that emergency power down system, and let me show you how that works. In the event of a power failure, the Leggett & Platt Falcon does have a one-use battery backup power down feature, and that way you may bring the head and the foot down to a flat elevation. And here's how it works. So we have the plug part of the power foundation unit right here, and then there's a little clip right here, okay, that holds everything together, and you just slide that off, and then where the cord runs into the plug, there's a little white tab. You just press that down and pull that out. And that detaches the plug unit from the cord that goes to the power foundation motor. Then you would take that battery backup unit that I showed you previously. You'd have 2 9-volt batteries that you would place in here. And then this battery backup feature just locks together and now it's connected to the motor. And you'll have enough juice here to lower the head and the foot section, and that will pretty much use up everything that those 9-volt batteries have to offer. And that's how you do an emergency battery backup with the Leggett & Platt Falcon. Now that I've checked over everything underneath the power foundation, I've secured all 4 legs, and I've even plugged back in the plug and took the battery backup off of that. We're ready to flip the product over and to test it out and to make sure that it works okay. Now, a few things to note. When you're flipping any power foundation over, you want to grasp somewhere on the frame network, somewhere where it's very sturdy. You don't want to grasp the panels because these panels are loose, and I'll show you this when I flip the product over. They have a gravity release system, so they're not permanently affixed right here and right here where they lift up and down. And that's a safety measure. But if you grab the panels and go to flip it over, the head and the foot sections are going to fall away from the frame network. It can become a dangerous situation, which we don't want. It could also potentially damage your power foundation, and we don't want that as well. Another thing to note, ideally you'd want to do this with 2 people. So you want to actually lift the product up out of the box and flip it over. You don't want to lean it up on its side and have it resting on these legs and then tip it over, because you'll put a lot of torque on these legs. You could potentially damage them, either bending the leg or breaking it off where it bolts to the frame network. So we want everything to stay in good, safe shape. So I'll flip it over, and then we'll talk about the actual use of the product and a few of the other features. Now that I've managed to flip over the power foundation, you can take a look at it here, and you can see why you don't want to grab the head section nor the foot section to manipulate the product, move it around, or to flip it over. You always want to grab on to the frame network, something very solid underneath, to be safe and to not damage the power foundation itself. Now you may notice these 2 white lines right here. That's the micro hook system from Leggett & Platt. This actually grabs onto the underside of your non-skid material on your mattress. Think of it as half of the hook and loop fastener, what people commonly refer to as Velcro. And it actually does help stop your mattress from sliding off the end of the product. Now, if you encase your mattress in a plastic PVC or a vinyl encasement or something with a very smooth surface, or if you decide to dress up your power base and put a dust ruffle on it, you'll want to use the included mattress retaining clip, because those micro hooks will not be able to grab onto the mattress and stop it from shooting off the end when you adjust the head section up. I like to use this anyway. It's just a little bit of extra reinforcement to keep everything where it's supposed to be. Adjusting the product itself, we have the remote control. Now, when you go through the manual, you might see, if you have an older manual, that there are some batteries included for the remote. On this new one, the batteries are already on the inside, so don't look for the 3 AAA batteries that they say might be inside there. You'll drive yourself nuts. You have the button for adjusting the head section up, and then there's a button beneath it to bring the head section down, and the separate motor for the foot section, the same thing. Adjust the foot section up, and then there's a button beneath it that will help bring the foot section down. There's also a unique button. If you press this, both the head and the foot will go up together at a prescribed rate. And then next to it is a 1 button for the flat. Hold that down, and as long as you hold that down, the head and the foot will go down simultaneously until it's completely flat. Then in the center, there's a little white light button. Press that, and you can't see it, but there's actually a little LED light underneath the base in a well-lit room like we have right here. You're not going to notice it, but trust me, in your master bedroom at nighttime, you hit this, it'll light up the room very well. It'll be able to let you see where you need to go in the middle of the night if you decide to use this right here. Now, in the manual, there's a few other things that you want to take note of. In the back, there are some accessories if you need to order different height legs, or if you want a solid leg, or if you even want casters underneath the product. They have an order form for those things, and that's a nice thing to have. Also, complete instructions on how to use the battery backup system that we talked about briefly. And this remote control can be programmed in a few different ways. You can, on the Falcon, program 1 remote to work 1 base, 1 remote to work 2 bases, 2 remotes to work 1 base, 2 remotes to work 2 bases. It's all done electronically, and it's all explained very simply here on the inside of the manual. The power foundation itself has a warranty 1-3-25, and it's all explained right here in the fine print in the back of the manual. All power foundation warranties are a little convoluted, so just to give you the gist of it, the nuts and bolts, The first year covers parts and labor fully. Years 2 and 3 will cover parts fully. Years 4 through 25 are going to be prorated, covering the steel and the frame network around the perimeter, but they don't cover the electronics. Now, all power foundations really aren't under a lot of stress. The motors work a little bit when it goes up, and then they're turned off when you get to the position that you want. So the better motors tend to hold shape and work for a very long time. But you'll want to be assured and be knowledgeable about what your warranty actually covers, so be sure to take a look at this right here. One final thing I wanted to show you was the maximum level of inclination for both the head and the foot section. Right now, I have them at the very top of their range of motion. One thing that people comment on with power foundation bases is when they see them without a mattress on top, sometimes they'll notice the material bubble up a little bit when we have it at the top of the range of motion. And that's built out of necessity. We need to let the material slide over the base a little bit so that when we're bending up and down, this can float a little bit. Obviously, with a mattress on top, it's not anything that you notice, but it's not a structural defect when power foundations do that. It's built out of necessity for it to do that. Some power foundation bases will be built in separate sections where the material is wrapped around each individual section and there's a gap in between the sections, and you really wouldn't see that too much. But here, where you have a continuous piece of non-skid material, you're always going to have a little bit of that movement right here. And the only time you're really going to see it is when the mattress isn't on top if you're looking at it in the showroom. So this is the Leggett & Platt Falcon Power Foundation Base Unit. I'm Jeff Shire, America's Beducator. Thanks for watching this Beducation video.